Happy New Year to you. I wish you everything that you have been praying for and aspiring for. I pray that the Lord bring it to pass this year. And I also wish you all the best in your agri business journey this year. I pray we'll make plenty cash this year for the agro space. So today I'll be talking about cucumber farming, everything you need to know about cucumber farming. With this video, you are good to go in setting up your cucumber farm. So I would probably divide this video into two because cucumber is a whole lot. Maybe I would do a part one and a part two. I don't know, it depends on the I don't like my videos to be too lengthy, so I might probably divide this into two. So if you are the one that probably been hiring cucumber farm and you want to start producing cucumber and you don't know how to go about this is the right video for you. Cucumber is highly lucrative during the dry season. It's also lucrative in the rainy season, but we usually experience glut, excess of cucumber supply, and we farmers during the rainy season we can't really determine the price. That's when you start hearing these farm people, these market women start telling you that they want to buy a bag of cucumber for 2,500 naira. Oh god, you can imagine 2,500 naira for a bag of cucumber. So I don't really encourage cucumber during the rainy season, although you make your money, but you cannot determine the price. But during the dry season, it's a gold mine. So if you're looking at doing cucumber, you can decide to do it during from December to like February. That's when you make a whole lot of money farming cucumber. So if you have energy, you have time, you have enough capital, you have the market, okay, yeah, you have the market, and then you can attend to your farm. You can visit your farm at least 3 times or 2 times in a week. Yeah, they want to do cucumber. But if you don't have any of these guys that I've just mentioned, bro, back way, don't come close to cucumber. Don't come close to cucumber. I'm warning you, don't come close. Cucumber takes a whole lot from you. It takes a whole lot from you. So please don't go close to cucumber if you don't have any of these things that I have mentioned. But if you have it and you consider yourself eligible for this particular agri business, let's dive into this video together. All right, so let's start with farm inputs, the things that you would need to start up your own cucumber farm. So most times I encourage first, I want to let you know that I'm not going to really focus on the things that are not so important, like land preparation and all the stuff. I'm just going to focus on the most important parts. And first, I would just want to say that if you don't have adequate water, if you don't have enough water, if you don't have, your source of water is not strong, like really strong, that you can have at least 12 liters in a day, 12,000 liters in a day, please don't even consider this. Or you might look for your land where maybe you have water around a stream flowing or a river. You would also get, maybe you should get a pen and a paper and write these things down. You would need a drip tape of maybe 1,000 meters or 2,000 meters long with a spacing of 30 cm by 30 cm. 30 cm spacing, not 50 cm spacing, please. So when you are getting your drip tape, ask for 30 cm spacing, a meter spacing, that holes that are on the drip tapes, 30 cm spacing. So I saw a very big snake where I was shooting, and then I decided to leave there and come to this place. So I don't know if the lighting is okay here. And all right, let's continue. So the things that you would need: first, you will need your drip tape. I usually encourage people to make use of drip tapes because it's actually the best. You don't have to stress yourself. So it's easy and it takes away all of the stress from you. You should get a drip tape of say 2,000 meter or 1,500 meter, and your a meter spacing is very important. It has to be 30 cm spacing. There are some drip tapes that has 50 cm spacing and maybe 70 cm spacing. Your drip tapes for cucumber, a meter spacing is supposed to be 30 cm spacing. So when you go to the market, don't make that mistake of buying the one of 50 cm spacing, else you have to be doing the puncturing yourself. If you are doing an acre, two rolls should be enough. The next thing you are going to add to your list, as I'm saying a lot of this, please try and write it down. The next thing, you get your bamboo, your lay flat. Your lay flat could be the one of 100 meter. You get your drip tape connectors, your end cap. Yeah, there's this one they call end cap. And also you can make use of PVC. You can make use of PVC pipe instead of lay flat. That one would last longer. It can even last up to 5 years, but it is more expensive. So if you're on low budget, you can decide to use lay flat. Lay flat too is good. You can take it for like 2 years or more. Is either lay flat or PVC pipe. You would get people to help you to do the connections. There are people who do the connections. All right, so let's go straight to land preparation. Like I said the other time, I will not be dwelling too much on the land preparation because I believe that you know all of this. You're supposed to make your ridges. Your ridges should not be too long, at most 50 meters, sorry. 50 meters, because if your ridges are too long, you might encounter problem when you are irrigating the farm. There are sometimes when you go to some cucumber farms, what you notice that the end part of the ridge, the plants, they are actually lacking water. They are not receiving enough water like the other side of the ridge. So it's not always easy for you to pump for the pressure to get to the end part of it if the ridge is too long. I don't know if this is clear, but if it's not clear, let me know in the comment section and then I will try and explain more. So your ridge should not be more than 50 meters and be like 1 meter wide, and the spacing between the ridges should be also like 1 meter, or maybe you reduce it a little, depends on the space, the size of your land. But your ridges should not be too close to each other, because if it's too close to each other, you might find it difficult to harvest your cucumbers. And your cucumbers, they need air, so they don't need, the farm is not supposed to be too choked up or jam-packed. Just give space for your cucumber so that they will be able to, the plants will be able to get enough air. Now that's the basically what you're supposed to do for land preparation. I'm not going to talk about clearing and all that. You know that you're supposed to clear ahead. So I'm talking about from ridges. After you've done your ridges, you are now going to add your manure to your ridge. All you need to do is open your ridges in the middle. Yes, like you're dividing the ridge into two now. Just make a shallow hole in between, in the ridge, on the ridge, and then you can put your manure. Now this manure is supposed to be dried manure. So you're using dried manure that has stayed for like at least 2 weeks. You're not supposed to use fresh manure. You're using dried manure, and then you just put in the middle of the ridges. Another way, where the water is going to come out from the drip tape, that's where you're going to plant, right? That point where you're supposed to plant, just a little bit away from that point, that's where you're applying your manure. Maybe like an inch away from that particular spot, that's where you're applying your manure. So you just use your hand to just make a shallow hole like this, and then you put your manure, make a shallow hole, put your manure, make a shallow, until you're done with the whole of the ridges. So that's how you prepare your land. Then you can wet, and that's it. So the reason why you're actually wetting is just for you to get the whole place moist and ready to receive your plants or your seeds. You can decide to spray the whole ridge with fungicide, but this is not compulsory. It's just for you to be on the safer side. Now for the planting, either you do a nursery or you plant directly on the field. Now planting directly on the field, there's some disadvantage to that. Some parts would have plants and the other parts will not have plants. So, and you are losing a whole lot from that. So you want to raise your seedlings in a seedling tray, or just make a simple clean bed and then plant your seeds there. And after 5 days, you're supposed to be wetting every day. After 5 days, you now move them carefully move them from the nursery to the field where you're supposed to plant. Now, before you plant, you are wetting, because you need to know the spot where you're supposed to plant. So it is where that water is dropping. You know, if there's a drop of water on the soil, you will know, it will be different from where there's no drop of water, right? So it's that spot where there's drop of water, that's where you're planting. So you are going to wet before you plant. So, and you're not planting when the sun is out. You plant when it's not sunny, maybe in the morning or in the evening. Any of those times, that's when you do the transplanting. For insecticide, fungicide, fertilizers, I'll be listing this. I have 12 items here that we use on the farm. So you'll be needing your Z-Force, you'll be needing your DD-Force, you'll be needing your Cabridio, Lara-Force Gold, Lara-Force, NPK, urea, neem oil, black soap, Super Grow, Ridomi Gold, DD-Force, urea and NPK. So these are the items that you'll be needing. You would also need your magnesium salt. I don't know if I've mentioned this, and it's one of the most important things because it helps in the photosynthesis that takes place on the farm. So you would need your magnesium salt. Now there are 4 items actually that you must not joke with on the farm: your magnesium salt, your Cabridio, and your neem oil and your black soap. Neem oil and black soap. Neem oil and black soap. You can't joke with these two. So you need these two on your farm because they fight against your white flies. They are the most effective. Your neem oil and your black soap, they are the most effective agents that you can use to fight white flies on your farm. So white flies are very, very deadly. They can destroy all of your farms in 1 week. So you don't want to joke with these items. Now, the farm routine. Your farm routine is also another part of your farm that you don't want to joke with. You must take this and do it religiously. And that's why it's very important for you to always visit the farm, because the workers will be like, they've done this and they have not done anything. So you want to always be on the farm. You want to always visit your farm to see if they're actually spraying at the right time, applying fertilizer at the right time, weeding at the right time. You don't joke when you are doing cucumber. You are supposed to be available on the farm. So let's look at the farm routine. Irrigation during the dry season is done every 2 days. So every 2 days you're supposed to wet. Now after you have planted your seedlings, the seedlings that you actually transplanted or you planted directly on the field, you're supposed to continue to give your plants water every 2 days. So if it's during the rainy season, you know you don't really need to wet. But if it's during the dry season, you can't help this. It has to be every 2 days. And your wetting is supposed to be super adequate. You're supposed to give it adequate wetting. You don't manage water when you are doing cucumber. You don't deprive cucumber of water. If you do, it will deprive you of sweet taste and the straight shape of a good cucumber. Now let's look at the farm routine. After you have transplanted your crops, you know, at this point they are like 5 days old or a week old. You're supposed to you wait until it is 2 weeks old and you will apply your first fertilizer. Now you're supposed to spray at this point also, but let me talk about fertilizer application first. For the fertilizer application, you are going to use only urea at this stage. You are going to use only urea. So you just if you are not doing fertigation is when you dissolve your fertilizer, that's your urea. Now you dissolve it in water and then you add it to the water that you are supposed to use to irrigate the farm. So you just make a shallow hole beside the plant and then you add your fertilizer, the one that you've used the cover of mineral bottle to measure, and then you add it beside the plant and cover up if possible, and then you wet immediately. So this fertilizer application is supposed to be done every week, once in a week, 7 days interval. That's when you are doing the fertilizer application. Now the time when you use urea alone is for the first application, that's after 2 weeks of planting. The second that's the third week. Now the second application, which is the third week of planting, you are going to mix urea and NPK together at a ratio of 1:1, 50-50. You do it that way, and then you apply with the same measurements, the same way you did it for the urea, you do it for the mixture of NPK and urea. And then you continue until when you start to harvest, and even during harvesting until you are done with that batch. So that's that for fertilizer application. It is also the same 7 days interval if you are using fertigation system. If you are using a Venturi system, for a Venturi system, you can ask your plumber or whoever is helping you to set up your irrigation system if he knows anything about how to set up a Venturi system. If he doesn't know, maybe go to where you're supposed to purchase Venturi, ask them if they have somebody who can help you to install. For the application of your insecticide, fungicide, and all the sides, for the application of these ones, you are going to use every item that is in powder form. You are going to measure a tablespoon of it, all the items in powdery form. Now when your plants are like 2 weeks old, you are going to use only Cabridio, neem oil, and black soap to spray. So you are spraying only Cabridio, neem oil, and black soap when the plants are still very young at 2 weeks old. You are spraying just that 3 because the plants are still tender, and you are using 5 ml of Cabridio, 5 ml of neem oil, and just a mosel of the black soap. So you are going to dissolve the black soap in water, add everything to add both the black. So my microphone is the battery is low, and I must shoot this video, continue to shoot this video. So let's just bear if my voice changes or the sound of my voice you can't really hear anymore. Please bear with me. So like I was saying, you are going to add everything, all of these items together. The powder 1 tablespoon, the ones in liquid form 5 ml each. So you're adding them in the knapsack sprayer, and then you are spraying. So you continue this routine every 4 days until you are done with that batch, not until you start harvesting. Even when you start harvesting, you are supposed to continue. And even the fertilizer application, every 7 days you are supposed to continue until you are done with that set. Now cucumber is supposed to, depending on your variety, cucumber is supposed to take 5 weeks to 6 weeks. So it depends on the variety that you are planting. So I do midway Gerard, and it takes like 5 weeks 3 days to be ready. So it depends on the variety, but please don't wait till your cucumber is big before you harvest. You are supposed to harvest your cucumber at most 6 weeks. Please harvest it as soon as it gets to 6 weeks. So that's that about cucumber farming. I would be making more videos on cucumber farm management, the profit, the total cost of setting up a cucumber farm, say 1 acre cucumber farm. I'll be making another video on that. But for now, if you have any question, maybe you have something that you need clarification, drop it in the comment section, and I'll always be available to give you the best replies that I can always give. If you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, please, I beg you, subscribe to this YouTube channel and like this video. If you appreciate this, like this video, encourage me to do more videos for